No, about 2 weeks ago, they came out publicly saying that the episode had a happy ending, and we wish we would be able to agree with that, but unfortunately, that is not so. And I'll go through the list. Two of the individuals were able to make their own arrangements. Two were given bed accommodation at the workers' hostel at Gibraltar Road, for which we're thankful. Two are unaccounted for. I mean, we have a question mark as to whether they are actually homeless or whether they're not, but we haven't been able to ascertain where they are, although one of them claims to be sleeping in the car, and the lady says that she's staying with a friend, but we haven't been able to ascertain that. And then we have the two others who were given a subsidy to stay at the Emil hostel. They were supposed to have left by the end of the week, but we have been in contact with social services and they have been given another 2 weeks, at least until the Housing Allocation Committee can investigate the case of one of them who is eligible for government housing, and the other one who is not eligible, they'll try and find for him a bed at the workers' hostel. So the whole thing is still ongoing and not, hopefully we shall be able to say together with government that the whole episode has had a happy ending, but not just now.
And Action for Housing has obviously taken a particular interest in these individuals because they are acute cases of people with housing needs. They were categorized as homeless.
That's right. I mean, these are the kind of people who fall through the cracks, and we cannot sweep them under the carpet. And this brings to light again the need that there is for emergency housing. The minister said some 6 weeks ago, or even longer perhaps, that they were in the process of refurbishing 11 flats for emergency allocation. Well, we need this badly, and we again urge the government and the minister to see to it that these 11 flats are made available as soon as possible.
These are flats which will fulfill the government's promise to provide a halfway home, although now they're going to be halfway flats for homeless men.
That's right. I mean, this would be in lieu of a halfway house for homeless men, same as we have for the ladies. And the government said that they were going to provide 11 flats as temporary allocation until things are sorted out. So we need these 11 flats urgently, no, not in the near future, but now.
And of course, there are perennial housing issues. Gibraltar has a limited amount of space, but it seems like you are working quite fluidly with the government on these acute issues.
We are. I mean, we meet with the minister. We've met with him twice. We speak with the social services. So we do have a fluid interchange of views with the authorities. Yeah. So they don't turn a blind eye when we call on them.
And we're focusing on these homeless individuals because their situation is particularly acute. But if we zoom out a bit, Action for Housing engages with many people who currently live in substandard homes and are trying to get help from the government.
Yes, I mean, we tackle issues not only with the government but also with the private sector. We are in touch with the different landowners. So we have a few fronts where we work with. And housing, as we all know, is a complex issue with acute human angles, which need to be tackled depending on the urgency and on the severity of each case.
And in short, would you say that there is movement in the right direction?
We would like to see housing for rental, which would eventually break the back of the housing problem, because at the moment the only flats which are being provided for rental are those for the pensioners.
You mean government rental, right?
That's right, yes. And unless we have that, I mean, the problem will persist and people will stay on the waiting list for years on end. Because at the moment, all the vacant flats that come in the way of government are those which become empty when the last tenant either passes away or goes to Mount Albania. Other than that, we only have the pensioners' flats, who are the ones who do release their own flats for those who are on the waiting list. But we need an influx of rental accommodation by the government.
And in fairness to the government, there was a manifesto commitment in respect of government rentals.
I believe there was, but with the proviso that they would have to see, first of all, whether there was a real need for that or not. And we think that there is a real need. So they must embark on providing housing for rental as soon as possible.